Good evening. Welcome to the DN35 podcast. And what a week it has been. My voice has not recovered, and we will go through everything we can. We want all of your thoughts and experiences in. We want to tell us about how you felt the season's gone, what yesterday was like, if you've still recovered, if you've still got a hangover, unless you're like our panelist, Scott, you're still somewhere hovering around the West Ham Stadium and are being asked to vacate it by police. We've got your normal podcast people here, panelists, to answer your questions and thoughts and try our best to sort of take away what has probably been the two craziest weeks Town fans have had for a very long time. But I mean, before that, let's go back and find out how we got promoted to the National League.
Hiding challenge by McAtee, wins the ball but doesn't find man, but it's Town winning it back again with Smith. Runs it on the right-hand side, players coming in, real up and still here, and it's across the goal. The back of the net, and who else? Who else but McAtee has pulled Town level, and what class it was. It just got away on the right-hand side and finished inside the post. The Mariners are back in it here, 68 minutes gone. It's Shrewsbury Town 1, Solihull Moors 1. Cropper throws it in. Gets a flick on. Yeah! And it's turned in the back of the net. They've done it. They've done it. It's Maguire Drew. They've done it again, this team. And it was from the long throw. And it's flicked on, and Maguire Drew has got it in the back of the net. 21 minutes of the extra time has gone, and Maguire Drew makes it 2-1 to Town. Get on with it, he tells Crocombe. Crocombe takes it long down the left-hand side, headed out and behind, and that's the final action of the game, which means Grimsby Town are back in the Football League. Just a year after those awful scenes at Exeter, the Mariners are back in it, and what a way to do it. 3 games behind in each one, extra time in each one, but somehow they've found the way to do it. They're back in the Football League, and this is what happens when everybody pulls in the right direction. No more darts games this year, no more COVID problems. Everybody deserves this at Grimsby Town for the way they've come here and turned things around. Well done, Jason. Well done, Andrew. Well done, Debbie. Well done, Paul Hurst. Well done, Chris Doig. Well done, you fantastic fans. It's the Mariners back in the Football League.
Well, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Football League again. We'll talk to Bruce in a second because he's just going to bring the vibe down. Let's be honest, talking about how he wasn't there. Tom, how are you? All aboard the promotion train. Everybody doubted you. Everyone called you an idiot. I think you're an idiot. I still think you're an idiot, but everybody was wrong. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. I thought it was a good game. Good performance overall. And obviously really delighted to be back in the Football League. I think the difference going up this time for me was the last time we got promoted from the conference, it seemed to be like a sort of feeling of relief more than anything. Whereas this time, I think certainly the people around me, it was more, we enjoyed it more. I think if we hadn't got promoted, it would have been disappointing, but I don't think there would have been that, oh, here we go again, in the same way that there would have been, or there was the previous times, because we'd come so close, I guess. I don't know, but it certainly felt like we enjoyed it more this time rather than it was just an outpouring of relief.
Mike.
That's how I felt anyway.
I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to hear it. Mike, resplendent. I saw you charging out of the ground. I tried to, shout over, but everyone was too loud around you. How are you feeling?
Mate, I don't do much charging anywhere, so it must have been somebody else.
Must have been the police are after you or something.
I don't know, mate. It's not sunk in. I just what an amazing game. What an amazing day. I went into the game doing what I'd probably done all of the playoff games, just sort of trying to limit my expectations. Sort of think, we're underdogs for this, so we're not going to win it. And at half time, you saw my ass at half time. I was like, that's it. May as well go home. And just for this team to again come back from behind and do it the hard way. Just I don't have words for them. And what a day it was. I mean, I honestly, after 3 games, winning the way we have, I'm actually surprised I'm still alive, especially after hiking all the way up those stairs to the top of that stand, by the way. So lucky to still be here.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm glad you're here anyway, because you can help us
Just.
take this apart. Bruce, how are you? Hopefully you got to watch the game in some form or other. Even for you part-time fans, it's great to see you've got a chance to enjoy it.
Oh, it's even better that it's back on iFollow next year, so I don't even need to go to any of the games.
That's
No,
my
it
look.
it was brilliant, mate. I'm a bit like Mike, really. It's not sunk in, and Tom's exactly right that going into the game, it felt like you wanted to do it and you desperately wanted to do it, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. And now we've actually got out of that division at the first time of asking. I look down and I look at Wrexham, who will probably invest more and win the league next year. And you're going in the lottery of the playoffs, and it's such a tough league to get out of, as we know from, like Tom says, last time. I think it was fourth go in the playoffs that we made it, wasn't it? And bits of luck along the way went wrong, and I just think that it's just a defining moment in the club's history. I think it's that big that we did do it, and we have got out first go this time round. And I just think that the club could just take off from here. And I don't want to sound unrealistic or anything, but hopefully there's good times around the corner for the fans who have, especially the younger fans who have not seen success like us oldies. In the last 20 years, it's been pretty shit. And let's hope that, with progressive thinking owners and a club and fan base that's all moving in the same direction, that we can get a bit of momentum and, let the good times roll.
Yeah, I mean, I don't just to pick up on something Bruce said, that I don't think it can be sort of overstated how good a thing it is to get out of that league at the first time of asking. I mean, just purely for progression with the new owners coming in means we've had that year of error, and now we can crack on. And I think looking back in 5-10 years time, you might think, whoa, we got out that league, a really good league with a lot of league clubs in there and a lot of money that's going to be splashing about next year. And I don't think you can overestimate how big it is to get out of that and get that first step on the rebuild with the new owners and things back, getting back into the Football League.
I think last year we all accepted that we would take relegation if it meant that we got the change of regime that we wanted.
No, I'm not having that. I got bollocked for saying that.
Well,
I had a go at him, but I agreed with him in the end. Actually,
but a year down the line, it's cost us 1 year in the club's history, which has been a year of improvement anyway.
Yeah.
And now we're back where we were, with a chance to really progress, and the club's in such a better place. Paul Hurst was saying, wasn't he, or somebody was saying, the players are ready for a well-earned break. Well, I'm afraid I don't think the ticket office staff are going to be getting much of a break in the next week, because I think the season ticket sales are going to go through the roof.
Well, he said he was on an interview saying he was talking to his wife when they went for a walk. Says, I think whoever wins this gets 3.5 weeks off. And knowing Hurst, he ain't doing that anyway. His phone will be melting, won't it? His phone will be melting. Hopefully, with fucking better people than Aberystwyth.
He's from Sheffield, though, mate. So his wife's not gonna. It's not gonna be a massive inconvenience holidaying in Cleethorpes, is it?
No, that's very true. That's maybe what.
That's where I'm from.
Maybe.
But you do come to. They do come to Sheffield and Rotherham. Do come here regularly on holiday, don't they?
Stay for a week, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he might be staying for 3.
Do you think that's what his promotion bonus was a place on the fitties?
Well, actually, I think there's that smaller gap between this season ending and next season starting. I think Dave Moore's actually got him in for bleep test tomorrow. I mean, it's crazy, the turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah. Fixtures come out. Tom, I assume you know better than me, but I think they come out in 2 weeks' time. And then I think our first
23rd.
23rd, and the first game is the 30th of July, if I remember rightly. It is absolutely incredible.
Obscenely early.
Well, I assume it's the World Cup.
But it's just been getting earlier and earlier. I mean, again, going back sort of 20 years, mid-90s, or maybe that's more than 20 years now, isn't it, sadly? But it was always late August, and it's just been getting earlier and earlier. And it was only the other year that Forest Green, that day we got stuffed, was our earliest start to the season on the 4th of, around that time of August. And now there you are telling me that we're kicking off in July. It's mental. kids will only just have broken up from school.
Yeah, but they'll get plenty of good footballing time in then instead, won't they? I mean, I don't know about you, Bruce, but Maisie obviously went. How was she when she got back? Because my lad was absolutely buzzing. I've always struggled with getting him to be a Town fan, but he was singing "We're on our way" today when I got in. So I hope I've converted him, and I hope a few more have been converted. Not that Maisie needed it.
She had. Well, by all accounts, obviously we were in Sheffield, but the funniest part of the day was Claire rang her up after the match to see how the game had gone and how she was, and she cancelled the call and just messaged and said, "I can't talk right now. I'll speak to you when I'm in the car later." She's 10 years old and she's like absolutely got it. So no, it's brilliant, and I was just so pleased that she could go, and she's done all 3 of the playoff games, and looking back in when she's in another 5-10 years, she'll be able to say that she was there at them all, won't she? And that's brilliant. And like I say, she remembers we're going to the town hall tomorrow. She remembers that she doesn't really remember so much 2016. She was only 5, but she'll remember this time. With the players on the balcony and the fans and stuff. And yeah, it's just brilliant for them, mate. And like I say, the youngsters, and we're now talking people that are under 30 that don't remember Town being any good. Hopefully that's going to change now, and we can all move forward in the right direction.
Well, they were certainly all right yesterday, Tom. We need your expert analysis as well. I thought it was pretty shaky. I was surprised that we weren't as sort of had a lid on it as much, given the experience our team had to begin with. But I thought we grew into it. I think we had 2 clear penalty shouts declined. One for a handball, which if the Notts County one that was exactly the same. And then what should have been a straight red as well, I believe, for what was an horrendous challenge. I don't know if you've been able to see it back.
I've seen. Are you on about the penalty shout where it was like a little bit above his ankle?
Yeah.
For the red card, yeah. Again, obviously, in the ground, that was at the other end from where we were, wasn't it? And it was quite difficult to. I mean, at the time, I think there was like 2 penalty shouts in quick succession. That one, and then the shot on the handball. Is that the other one that everyone's assuming was the penalty shout? Yeah. That wasn't even. At least should have been a corner. But I thought overall with the game, we didn't start off great, and they had like a really quick succession of corners. And I can't remember who said it. I think it was someone within this group that whoever sorts themselves out, it might have been you, Alex, actually, whoever sorts themselves out on set pieces, like for the final, will probably win the game. And that didn't really come to fruition in the sense that their goal was from open play. Obviously, our goal was from a throw-in, but it wasn't a set-piece move. It was just a flick on, wasn't it, from their defender. I thought they were really good. This is the first time I've seen them play this season, and I thought credit to them, like when they went behind in extra time. I think most teams at that point in the game would have just started lumping it forward and trying to get the ball forward quickly, but they didn't. They kept passing it on the floor and trying to get down the wings and get crosses in. And I thought they looked really good on the break. There was 2 or 3 occasions at least where on another day they would have got the ball in and they'd hit us on the break really quickly, and actually it outnumbered us in the middle, attackers to defenders. But someone had got in a great challenge for us, whether it be Smith, Waterfall, Amos. I mean, the back sort of 3 or 4 yesterday, I thought played really well. I thought Cropper actually probably didn't have his best game defensively, but his throw-ins were a menace to them, and that obviously proved to be like the winning margin.
It was fantastic. I thought that you're absolutely right. Cropper, I thought, was a bit slow on it in terms of just getting he just felt like the ball couldn't get out of his feet and sit right for him at times. But I mean, what an impact he has just from them throws. And then you've got Smith. Smith was my overall man of the match. I thought he was an absolute Leviathan at the back. He was incredible. He won every header, James Howes said he's not seen the Smith challenge on Hudlin, but said at the time I thought he was looking to get away with it. I thought it was just a clash of heads, if I'm being entirely honest. And because Hudlin is so tall, it just didn't sit the same way. If it had been two people of a normal height, not gigantas, it would have just been a clash of old noggins. But that through ball for a start from Smith to set on McAtee. I mean, if we can get if he needs a league club next season to go on loan to, I mean, I know a league club quite close to Hull if he wants to bring him in, because fuck baby Anderside, he's better than that. He's baby Mark Lever, that guy. He was absolutely brilliant. I thought Waterfall, I mean, I don't even think Waterfall opens doors. I think he just heads doors open. Just absolutely incredible, really good leader. I thought Amos was brilliant as well. And Crocombe was super shithousing, and that incredible save in the first half with that reaction save was wonderful. I'll shut up because I'm basically just telling everyone that he's amazing. I'll stop talking.
I mean, I think Smith and Amos were absolutely immense yesterday, and I think there was so many times where they were breaking down their right side, and there was a well-timed tackle or an interception just at that point where they're about to come through on goal, and I think they were immense. And when you win games of football, you tend to forget those things, but I think Amos and Smith were just fantastic with that. And I think with Crocombe, I mean, the shithouse was fantastic. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw, but I was watching him when we scored the winner, and he ran and got the ball from just inside our half and kicked it behind his own goal into the stand. And so it slowed the game up, and I saw proper shithouse. He also he kept forgetting which leg he had cramp on at the end as well.
Yeah, I mean, they all had cramp apparently. Crocombe obviously had cramp. I hope he's feeling better after, standing there for 90 minutes and getting crap. It sounds like it was a painful ordeal. Bruce, you were watching it from a wedding. What were your overall thoughts and emotions? How many people gathered around the screen around you? How many tellings off did you get for ruining the atmosphere at the wedding? And are you invited back to your friend's house?
I've been to his first 2 weddings, so I'm hoping there won't be any more. But
I like the third season.
Well, the last one was 20 odd years ago.
Did you get him a hat trick ball?
Next time, mate. Next time.
Next time he gets married, because let's face it, he's got history for it. I don't know who he is, but we'll sign it all from the podcast, and he can have a match. He can have his hat trick ball.
Live pod from his wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hope we don't. Let's hope he does it for his sake. But
I hope he's enjoying his honeymoon.
It was a good do, and obviously, it was quite a topic of conversation with most of the guests that seemed to know that I'd had a tough decision to make, but I didn't really get a decision. But it was anyway. Once the game started, we sat down for the meal at 3:00, which was obviously kick-off. But we'd been granted an iPad on the table, kindly given. Cy Stevo kindly gave me his BT Sport login, and we were away. And whether it was the free champagne or the beers that I'd been drinking, I was quite relaxed for a start. And like Tom says, obviously I thought they had the succession of, they started the quicker team, and then obviously I saw, we were watching it all, and I think we maybe killed off a couple of elderly relatives when we suddenly, in the middle of a quiet room, there was a shout went up. I'm not sure that Nana was all right at the end, but it started off with just
town fan, is she?
We were supposed to be sat. Sort of. It was basically guy girl round the table, and we quickly negotiated, and it was basically 5 of us blokes sat round one side, and then the women were all around the other side of the table. Sort of, we'll call it behind the iPad stand, and. It was
they probably had a better view than some of the poor fuckers up in the gods.
But so it was weird, wasn't it? And it's just such a high pressure game when it's like that. And a bit like Mike said, when we went a goal down right on half time, I mean, Hurst would have been fuming to concede from that. And I thought it was quite clever play by their guy, the way that somebody said, why is Amos marking him? And I suggest it probably wasn't Amos marking him, and Amos shouldn't have been marking him, but he'd probably gone and stood next to Amos. He'd picked out Amos and obviously got a leap on him, and that was really disappointing. But then, Johnny McAtee did what Johnny McAtee does on 1.5 legs, didn't he? And you know, what a moment for him, and what a season he's had, and what a renaissance as a player that was, you know, misfiring at Scunthorpe. His decision to come here under Paul Hurst has been justified. So yeah, and then I just thinking about something that Tom said a minute ago. In extra time, when they scored, Tom said he liked the way they carried on passing. I actually, considering they had 10 minutes plus of time to get back in the game, apart from I think there was one header or something, they didn't really create a lot of opportunities and didn't really have what felt like a massive go at us. I don't know if I'm remembering that wrongly. You guys, you know, there's 3 of you, perhaps correct me, but I didn't feel massively like we were under pressure in extra time after we'd scored. They looked a bit. I thought they looked like they were a bit defeated at that point. And I'll shut up now.
I don't know. I couldn't watch, mate. Couldn't watch. I don't know what the hell
felt,
happened.
Yeah, it felt like they were always on there. They felt like they were always in our 6-yard box, but Tom's probably got more realistic respect of that.
No, I think you're right, Bruce. I don't think they did really create a great option. I think there was one sort of half chance that they created in that we scored. Was it the 111th? But yeah, in those 10 minutes, it didn't really create anything. But nevertheless, I think if I was a Solihull fan, at that time, anyway, this is just me, I think I'd be pleased that they didn't just resort to the long ball. And that was all. You know, I was impressed by them generally. I thought they played good football. They were really quick on the break. Their goal was a cracking header, and all through the game, like when they got down the wing, which they did quite a lot, to be fair, when they got into a good position, they didn't hesitate. They just took a touch, got a half a yard, and they fizzed a ball in or whipped a ball in, or they got a shot off, which was when we were 1-0 down. You felt like if we weren't going to get back into the game, it was because we weren't doing them things. Like we hesitated quite a lot. I remember there was a chance where Sousa had made himself some space on the edge of the box, and then he was sort of like just going up and down like this, threatening to get past the player, and then he went for the pass for Holohan, but the chance for Holohan to get the shot off early had kind of gone. And that at that time when we were losing, I kind of felt that like summed up our performance, that we just weren't quite getting our chances and our crosses off early enough. But obviously it didn't matter in the end, and that was what impressed me about Solihull. I thought they were quick.
I think from what I can remember actually of the last 10 minutes, I think they had a lot of possession in and around the box, but didn't really do much. I think they had a few crosses in the box, but I think Crocombe did really well in sort of dominating that and coming for quite a few and relieving all the pressure. And just going back to Bruce's point about their goal, I think the reason Amos ends up on Hudlin is because a midfield runner gets a ball who shouldn't, and then gets a cross in from where he shouldn't, and just they're totally out of organisation. And Smith and Waterfall are totally where they shouldn't be, which is frustrating for Hurst, especially in the last sort of minute of the first half, to sort of switch off there. But it just looked like people weren't where they should be because they weren't expecting that to happen.
I thought the game changed when he went off. So I don't know about you in the stadium, but every time the ball went into our box, one of my mates that I was sat with, he just said, I think we'll win it now. Now he's got when he went off, and I just every time the ball went in the box, you just felt so much more relaxed. I think their game plan for that particular game, maybe, you know, I don't know whether, because I don't think he's been starting regularly. I don't know whether he has. I think he has recently, but when he scored 2 against us earlier in the season, I think he was more of a substitute. And whether he's forced his way in the team, but it just seemed to knock their game plan. And like Tom says, they kept on passing it, but they didn't really have a massive end product after he'd gone off, I didn't think.
Well, he's only scored 4, I think. 2 of those were against us. I don't think that includes the goal yesterday, but he's only scored 4. And I think from looking at his stats, because I was interested, hey, Huddersfield are actually in for him, so I was interested, well, what has he actually done this year? So I looked it up earlier, and it doesn't look like he's played that much. But yeah, he's only scored 4, and 2 of them against us.
They wheel him out for Grimsby games, don't they? Thank God we're not playing them next year.
Well, I'll be honest. I was still relatively calm. I thought we still had it in us. I know Hudlin gave them an opportunity up front, but I still think Town had the better opportunities through most of the game and the better chances. And one of the things that's defining within the playoffs this for Town has been we have restricted a lot of all the teams to very few opportunities in open play. Most of the people's goals have come from set pieces of one form or the other, and we've been very resilient at being able to stop them from going through in terms of stopping them from getting anywhere near it. I thought Hudlin was okay, but I didn't think he was. I thought he was a danger, but I mean, it's just one of those things that I think that he had our number, but I don't think he was. I don't think it's as telling as it was. I'd imagined he'd have gone off anyway because he didn't. I don't think he's completed a full 90 minutes yet this season.
I thought it was easier for him to get hold of the ball in our final third against Waterfall and Smith than their replacement. I think it just gave them something to build off. I mean, but you talking about you being calm. I mean, I'm sat there, my Fitbit's just gone on strike. Like it's had enough. So I don't know how you could have been calm, mate.
Got a belief these lot never stop, do they? I was fully on board. I was fully promoted to train staff on Tom's promotion train. I was. No doubts whatsoever. I thought we would have it, and I thought we'd get at least another 2 opportunities. And when they did come, because let's face it, it's a Grimsby Town podcast. It's not a Solihull Moors podcast. You've had your moment, lads. Piss off. Back to your 2,000 people and a dog. Like, no one cares about you. I'm sure you'll come back up at some point, but until then, piss off. Let's be gracious in victory.
To win friends and influence people. There you go.
Yeah. Who gives a shit? Jamie Osborne went back there. What for? You fucking loser. But there we go. It was nice to see the fans didn't worry. There was no one getting on anybody's backs. There was no, sort of mass size or temper tantrums when balls went wide or went too long or the final pass didn't make it. I think everybody was on side for it. I thought everybody was brilliant, and I thought our team were just outstanding. I think Fox was incredible. Fox was my man of the match up until we scored, and then it was Smith, which was odd. McAtee was great. Taylor was brilliant. I don't know who else to mention. But Maguire Drew looked fucked the second he came back on, but other than that, he still scored. They were just wonderful, and all credit to them because they never stopped. Yeah, Tom.
I agree with what you said back there. I thought we were worth the result, but I thought you could only really truly say that in extra time. And I think interestingly, with the playoff final, I think that was the one game where you could argue that until Maguire Drew scored, the subs didn't really work. I don't think the Abrahams and Manny had the same influence they did. They worked hard, but I don't think they had the same influence they did have in the other games. And then obviously Maguire Drew popped up with the goal in the end. And I don't know if anybody else missed it in the stadium, but I didn't notice Maguire Drew's dummy for the McAtee goal.
No,
I think it's probably because where we were sat, because it was so far back. But yeah, it's interesting that you felt like the subs against Notts County and against Wrexham, you really felt their impact. But like going through extra time in that, I kind of felt I was a bit sort of like down about our subs yesterday. I was like, they haven't really like had the same impact on play like they have in the previous games. And then obviously Maguire Drew pops up with the goal, just eradicating everything I've said for the last 2 minutes.
That's all right. I mean, he's going to become my boo boy, I guess, but I don't think Reiki was amazing. I thought the game passed him by, but I imagine he's coming back from injury, but we haven't. I'll be kind enough to say we haven't seen the best of him, and he hasn't had a good chance in the team.
What I would say is I don't think he was brilliant, but I think actually what that change did might not be, from my point of view, and watching in the stand, you can sometimes see a different game, but I was seeing them breaking through our midfield quite a lot more towards the end of the game. And I think that extra body there, not playing as far forward as McAtee, actually prevented that a lot. So whilst I don't think he did anything fantastic going forward, I think it enabled us to stop them breaking through as much as they had been from the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I just think when you come on in extra time and you come in towards the game, you're the legs. You have to be the people, because everyone else around you has been doing 90 minutes. And I don't think Maguire-Drew did. Maguire-Drew looked absolutely knackered after 10 minutes of being on the pitch. And maybe that's just how he plays. And I thought the same with Reiki. I thought Manny and Abraham's closing down at the front really did help sort of keep the pressure on them, because you felt that lack of intensity up front when they were a little bit calmer on the ball. Their keeper did like to play the short passing, and just to push him up and to give them that bit of time not to rest on it was brilliant. But I can't believe after the second goal, there was about 10 minutes left of play, and I think we must have had about a minute of football actually played in that. There was some wonderful time wasting. It was incredible. Tom, I know you're not a master of the dark arts, but what did you think of that did you think that was about a right amount of play in there after the goal, or were you all too apoplectic with joy?
I celebrated the first goal more than the second goal, to be honest with you. I think I was a bit like, oh, fucking hell, we're winning the second goal. Whereas the first goal, I was like, yes, we're back in it. And I really let loose for the first goal. But the second goal, I was almost like stunned into silence by the fact that we were in front finally. I didn't really enjoy when Crocombe went down right at the end with cramp, and then he actually seemed to sort of injure himself. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, just get up, because they just had it on anyway. So I don't know.
They don't. That's the problem.
I don't really buy into all that. I think it's a bit bollocky. Just get on with it. I appreciate him sort of, going down, picking up, and then falling over. Fair enough if you want to do that, but it's like, how have you got cramp when all you've done is sort of walk around? It's not for me, the dark arts as they call them. I think you should just try and win the game. But I thought we did manage the game better than we have in previous guises, like at the end, when sort of Abrahams took it into the corner and then somebody else took it into the corner. I guess that's the way you have to play now, and we did that and we managed it quite well. But I think the pretending to have cramp from Crocombe was a bit crap. Mainly because he didn't do it brilliantly either.
Let's play it again. Bruce, what were you going to say?
I was just waving to Adam Pannell.
Oh, right.
He just said he's apologising. He was late to the party. I was just waving hello.
Oh, yeah, Adam, you got to do 15 lines in the back saying up the Mariners on it. What did we think of the whole experience in terms of the stadium? I thought my view was all right, but I think I've already commented it. The music and the DJ was shit, and that random bloke that came on to sing a random advert from the 90s was so weird, and it did feel like they wanted you out of there. I wanted the whole Tom. I'm cheesy. I wanted it all. I wanted rocking all over the world. I wanted We Are the Champions. I wanted Simply the Best, and then I wanted This Town Knows and all that sort of crap. I wanted it all. I didn't want to be kicked out after 5 minutes. Like, get off, come on, we've all got places to be. You can go anywhere else, but you can't stay here, sort of thing.
I thought the view was really good. I thought I was sort of in line with the 18-yard box, but fairly high up in the upper tier.
You must have been near me.
I think if you were behind the goal, you probably had a different opinion, because we sort of worked out that if you were in the front row of the upper tier behind the goal, you were 150 yards at least from the other goal, which is a fair old way, isn't it? So I think you probably thought that was a bit naff. But from where I was sat, it was quite a good view. And it was good how all the town fans in that section were basically sort of crammed in together. I think that definitely helped for the atmosphere. But I wouldn't go back to the Olympic Stadium in a hurry to watch a game if it wasn't Town playing West Ham in the FA Cup or the League Cup in the latter stages or whatever.
Ah, well, we don't have to go back there anytime soon, my friend. But it must be nice for West Ham fans, obviously, to see a trophy lifted there. They won't get to see that for a while. I don't know why I'm kicking off at West Ham fans, but there we go. You made some money out of us, I guess. So,
You're getting all bullish, aren't you, in your excitement?
yeah, right. Who's next? Gillingham? Fuck you lot. Yeah, well, you shit stand. Have you heard of a roof? Yeah, I don't know. It's I think I'm like most of you guys on here. I'm still struggling to really get it in, sort of process it and work out exactly what it is. We spent 6 years carefully building a team and pulling it up last time to get up, that it felt like a mission accomplished thing. This just feels like it almost feels like we've stumbled over the line and done it just purely by chance and by accident. And I just yes, Stephen's right. I just still can't get over the enormity of what we've achieved. Just look at teams like Wrexham still not getting up there. It's incredible. But the only thing you can say is there is no chance in hell we will ever get down to that league with these guys still as owners, because there is no way that they'll ever let what happened on their watch, on Fenty's watch and on Holloway's watch, to happen again, because it just, even now, as you said, Bruce, it's gone leaps and bounds. It's incredible.
We just can't. I don't think we can underestimate. I know I've said it earlier, and I'll say it again. I don't think we can underestimate how big this is in the history of the club getting out of the league. I just think it's massive. And Wrexham, if they do it, have somebody runs them close again next year, all their money, then you win the lottery of the playoffs. And we've shown that a team can come from 6th place and get the momentum at the right time and go up. It's just mental. But this afternoon, though, just to change the tact a little bit, I believe the players have been told in the next couple of days whether they're going to be kept on. A lot of that side are either on loan or have only got 1-year contracts. There's a few players on 2-year, but it's going to be really, really interesting. And it's we maybe haven't got time for it now, and by the time we get together again, it'll probably be out there who's been retained and who's been let go and who's been offered deals. But it's going to be a really busy. I mean, I think you or Mike said about the turnaround to the start of next season. We're going to have the next couple of weeks, and that's going to take us to nearly when they come back. We've offered a contract to Clifton, or we've offered a contract to whoever. Have they signed it? What's going on? In recruitment. I mean, there's just next to no time, is there? It's an unbelievably short turnaround.
It's absolutely crazy. And I mean, the good thing, actually, picking up what you said about, these guys in Jason and Andrew are going to do it right. They're going to invest in the right way and do things the right way. And I think it was quite telling. One of the things Hurst said in one of his post-match interviews was, this cannot happen again. It cannot be allowed to happen again. And I'm pretty sure Jason and Andrew won't let it happen again, because they'll go about doing things the right way.
I think we need to mention as well what Hurst said in his interview about the academy. I was chatting to somebody, and I think I'm right in saying that our funding would have stopped this year if we hadn't have gone up. And I believe for the first year, Jason and Andrew had said that it was going to be, they were going to keep it going as it was, and obviously that would have been at some significant cost to them or the club or both. And now we've got, Woodsy can carry on his excellent work that he and his team do with the funding from the Football League. And that's huge as well.
Can I also add to that as well, is that even though Andrew and Jason would have covered the costs, none of those players would have been registered. So if you had if you had a Grist in there, if you had another Adlar in there, or whoever it may be, Pollock, whatever, they're not registered. So Hull can just come along and go, oh, thanks very much. We'll take these guys. No charge, no fees, no nothing. We wouldn't have that. And then the season after that, we wouldn't even be in the league. We'd have to arrange friendlies, and we wouldn't be in a competitive league whatsoever. So you're right, Bruce. It's an absolute godsend. And it shows exactly how fucking crazy it was that it was allowed to get into that just by sheer negligence. And we said it last time, like, never again. It can't be again. In our living memory, it can't be again. This is a gift. It's down to dedication, hard work, and everything. But for I don't know, shit referee calls, we've all been on the end of them before, haven't we? Like, we could still be down there, and we've got to take this with both hands and say thanks very much. right, let's fuck League Two because this is beneath us as well, sort of thing.
I've got to go, gents. See you later.
I'll see you
Up
later.
the
mate.
Mariners.
I thought you was trying to get in again. Cheers, Tom. All the best, mate.
That promotion
Well,
bus is
cheers.
leaving early, is it?
He's heading up to Grimsby already. He's going to go to the tour.
I've got to get the boiler going, ready for tomorrow.
You can't call your wife that, mate.
Cheers.
See you later.
Just to go back to, you cannot overstate how big it is actually getting out of that league so quickly. I think I know why it's not sunk in. I just cannot believe what we've done. I think that's what it is. The turnaround after an absolute shit show of a season to turn the entire squad around in one transfer window, basically, to have that run of form in the winter and sneak into the playoffs, and then to go away to Notts County, away to Wrexham, win those games deservedly, and then do it in a final. I just don't think I can believe the turnaround. I think that's why it's not sort of set in yet. I mean, after 6 years in the National League, you can sort of think we're going to be up and around there. We've got a good chance. But this year, I thought it's a free hit. Jesus Christ, what an absolute gift to get out of that shithole on the first time of asking.
This last 3 weeks has been, or 2 weeks, has been just amazing. You know, in 34 years of following Town, I've never known a period. I mean, we went to Wembley twice in 5 weeks, but it wasn't dramatic like this has been. It's been, as a fan, it's been brilliant, but it's been absolutely bloody exhausting. You know, the amount of times, and I'm sure you were the same yesterday, you just felt absolutely wiped out just watching the. You're not playing, you're just watching the game. You know, at Notts County, you're 10 seconds from going out of the playoffs in the first game. You know, they literally kicked off after Holohan scored. They literally kicked off, didn't they? And that was full time, and that's how close we were, and that's the fine margins. And when you've only got one automatic spot, that just shows the lottery. That the guy with the bloody weasel on his head, he was celebrating to his own fans apparently, and then a minute later or 5 minutes later, he's crying in an interview. You know, that's the fine lines and how it can be affected. And I think I'm sat here now talking about it to you, and the more I talk about it, it just feels like Mike says, it's not sunk in yet, and I'm in disbelief that we're out straight away and we're back in the league. And I don't know about you two, but I need a few weeks just to unwind from football and just recharge the batteries to go again for next season. And I'm only a bloody supporter.
Mate, honestly, I'm emotionally drained and I'm knackered after yesterday. I'll be honest with you. You know, it's been bad. I woke up this morning with cramp, and I've just sat there and watched it. I'm just absolutely done.
I just can't see it. And one thing we haven't talked about is Hurst. We haven't given him a moment really yet where he deserves it, because him and his team. And I'll tell you something. Actually, first and foremost, we've already mentioned it before, but we've just played 3 games of extra time. We've played in a whole extra game in this. That's exactly what a fucking strength and conditioning coach gets you. That's exactly what their staff gets you. That's why he left for Shrewsbury. That's why we're back down here, because we had backwards thinking, archaic dinosaurs who were all too worried about saving a penalty to spend £1. And it's bit them on the arse, and it shows exactly what's happened. That's why you need the fucking coaches that they asked for. So next time, well, there isn't a next time because you're all fucking gone. But thank God for that.
But
there's your 3 points on a Saturday, right there. There's your 3 points.
I think the owners, Hurst has done a brilliant job. I think we've all criticised him at some points, but that's the nature of what we do as supporters. But we were getting to the point, Alex. I think it was. I don't know if you were doing many pods back then, Mike, but when he was first struggling, when we had that bad run, every game that went on where we didn't win, Alex, you and I were, we were getting nearer and nearer to the point where we were saying, look, I think we need to change this. And there were a lot of supporters, and there was quite a lot of pressure mounting on, on the manager being changed. And I mean, absolute respect to the owners, and what do we know? Because everyone keeps saying stability, but as a fan, you get the results when they aren't going for you. You get twitchier and twitchier, don't you? And it would have been easy to change it in January or whenever the end of that long run was, and they didn't. They stuck with him. They knew what they'd got planned. Yes, they maybe didn't expect us to get promoted, but they knew what they were doing, and like I say, what do us fans know? But no, congratulations to Paul, and he's also become one of only 3 managers that have got promoted twice at Town. Alan Buckley being doing it 3 times. But I think that that's a respect that he's moved up into the sort of top 3 of promotions with us.
I remember when we sat here and we were talking with Elliot Jackson. I think it was after Southend or something like that, and he asked me, well, he was asking if I was for him staying or going, and I said if we drop below 15th, then he should go. But I don't think there was ever, I think I would stand by that in terms of how it was, because he just lost his way a little bit, and it's so good that we never got to that position and we never had to look at it, and I think it says a lot about having. Maybe looking at, they might not be the better player, but if they're here for a season, you take them over players here that are for 6 months, because losing Towler, losing Hunt, losing McAtee through injury and suspension as well meant that we didn't have that solidity, and we've essentially had 3 teams this season. We've had the one that started, we had that transitional team that we had in the middle, and we've had this one we've fallen upon now with, by the grace of God, like, even though I'm an atheist, like that we got that, and Hurst has been brilliant. And I remember coming on this when we got relegated from Exeter, I said I can't wait till Hurst finds the next Bogle, the next Ammond, and we all get to fall in love with him. And that's exactly what he did with McAtee, and I can't wait for him to do it again next season, because he's going to find another person that we all are just going to fall in love with and adore. And I don't know about you, I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like anyone's going to go. I don't feel like McAtee will go. I don't think anyone will leave. I think if they need to make better offers for those players, they will do. And I think all we'll do is make the team better and stronger.
I think it gives us a hell of a hand now to keep hold of some of those players we might have struggled with. I mean, we've discussed on it loads of times about Hurst, the ins and the outs, and discussed all about it, that some people, would never take to Hurst the second time around. I just hope to hell that sort of puts that to bed now, and we can move on from that discussion. The bloke's proved himself twice. He's turned an absolute shit show around in a year. He's built, as you said, Alex, he's built 3 teams this year. And you look at that team that finished in the playoffs, it was the same team with the same substitutions at the same time that got the same result. And he's built that consistency and got us out of this league. So I hope it sort of just kills that debate off. I don't think it will. I think if you have a poor run of form again, we might be back here again. But I mean, the bloke's proved himself. I don't know what more he can do.
Yeah, I'm just reading how many players are out of contract this summer.
Oh yeah, how many?
I'm just looking. Just have you got some Philly music?
Yeah, hang on.
I've had to start counting 3 times now because I've talked to you in between.
Just while you're counting, and apologies to Stephen, who was apparently sat behind me, so he might not see much of the game, but he said he was sat behind me in the chat.
24 players.
What are out of contract or are going to be with
24 players. Deals are up. Yeah, 24. That's a bloody lot, isn't it?
I looked at that earlier. I mean, I balance their superior knowledge, but I seem to remember a few of those, like Fox, had year options on them. I don't know if I've just imagined that. But I think a lot of those 1-year deals had an option, because I remember thinking about it last time about, at least we've got options on some of these lads.
Can anybody who's watching this tell me when Barton announced that we're going to play a friendly with them? Because I'm just trying to write down what the next sort of key dates are, and I'll put it up at the end of the show. That'd be amazing.
Is it Barton or Ferriby? Have Barton announced it? Is it Barton and Ferriby?
I think Ferriby have, and I think Barton have as well. And we've also been drawn Scunny in the Lincolnshire Cup. So hopefully we can fill the
non-league Scunthorpe.
Yeah, non-league Scunthorpe. It'd be nice for them to have a league team join them and just, fill their coffers a little bit, because, they struggle, bless them. Fucking fools.
It's fucking delightful, isn't it? Absolutely delightful.
I hope full-heartedly we've taken down that Vanarama sign and dropped it outside Glanford Park. Because they can just scrape the town letters off it, and you just put Scunny on it, and they'll be, save them a few quid because they need to. Let's have a look at keeping going. My dad said we must keep the nucleus of our players and not go down to. He stopped typing. I might need to check on him. Ross Parkin says can't wait to see John Nolan in the town shirt next season. Bruce, you were starting a rumour mill earlier. What the hell were you talking about with Ryan Bennett?
They said it a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
He's back in the town. He's back in the town, mate, and we're back in the league. We'll see what happens.
Josh is
I have no inside information, mate. I just I'm putting 2 and 2 together, and he's moved back to the area. He might not want to travel anymore.
Nailed on for
Well,
Lincoln, then, is he?
Someone says, so someone has already mentioned Waterfall's up on his contract. If you could change between him and Ryan Bennett, who would you have?
Is that a question that are you asking us to?
Yeah, I'm just asking you guys, because do you give Waterfall a new contract? Do you know what? No, I'm not doing that. That's not fair. This is promotion stuff. Let's not talk about that crap.
You'd have both of them. Well, that's what I was thinking, because we could quite easily get drawn into the who do you think should stay, who should go, and
Go proper fishy.
I don't think that's the time. I don't think today's. We don't want to ruin the party, do we? We don't want the guests leaving early.
No, we don't.
That's why I didn't answer. I think it's an obvious answer, but it's just not a fair answer to give the day after, is it? Really?
Both of them.
Yeah, let's keep them all. Let's keep.
Yeah, but no, we'll see what happens.
Dan is fully on board your Ryan Bennett train. How old is he now? Like 90? Well, how old is Ryan Bennett?
It's not just his family that live here, Dan.
31?
No, 32. Sorry, it's 32. I think
32
90.
years old. Oh my god, you can tell my voice has gone. Can I say thank you as well to everyone who said lovely things when I was at the ground yesterday? It was really appreciated. That was really good. Stephen is looking forward to the fixtures coming out already. I am as well. What have you guys picked out as your away games of choice? AFC Wimbledon away will be a cracker.
Mike, you can go first.
Sutton for me, because it's about a 10-minute walk, so I'm really looking forward to that.
There you go.
Other than that, Donny, because I can go back home and do that, and probably Wimbledon as well, just because it's Wimbledon. So
I think Donny was one of them early kickoffs before. We've not had that this season too much, but Donny and Mansfield are usually ruined by early kickoffs. Where you've got to try and get a pint in a pub that serves chicken wings or something. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Sutton, like you, Alex. I always look at the Leyton Orient's always a good day out. I like a London away day. Wimbledon, obviously, for that reason. Never been there. I've never made it to Harrogate in our couple of visits for some reason. So I want to go there. And then I looked at the league table. There was one of them Twitter accounts did a picture of a map of the UK and whereabouts in England the teams were this year, and I think there's about 12 of the 24 teams are Mansfield or North. So that's a really nice change from the Alex Green Vanarama Southern League that we've had this season. So yeah, it'd be nice not to go down quite so many times. But yeah, it looks a nice spread. And we got rid of Bristol Rovers. Sorry, mate, just one. Got rid of Bristol Rovers, Exeter, and Forest Green. So they were 3 long trips from here as well that have gone.
Well, you say that. John Lewis has said, I'm pissed off that 3 of my local teams, Forest Green, Bristol Rovers, and Exeter,
there you go,
got promoted to League One.
Sorry, John.
Yeah, next season, John. Next season, mate. 2023-24.
Adam says Crawley's my nearest. The scene of our first ever non-league ground. Orient is a great one too. In fact, I had to drive past Orient to the ground yesterday, which was slightly odd, but it was nice to do so. Yeah, do you know what? It's going to be incredible, and I know it's being down south, and I don't know, Mike, if you did the same. I bought the foreign iFollow, and it was so good. It kept me more invested. It's the reason why the podcast is more regular, because we can actually talk about it. I've really struggled this year with having to listen to it on the radio. JT's brilliant, but you can't work it out how they play. You can't work out sort of your general opinions on players and such. And it does allow these other fans, because I don't think it affects attendances. I mean, it'll be a good question in a minute. How many season tickets do you think we're going to sell? But I don't think it affects attendances, and I don't think it affects people going. It helps people who are just out of reach, and those as well who, I don't know, who can't watch it. We saw Rowley yesterday going absolutely mental at the telly, which was beautiful to see. It gives them opportunity to connect with it more. And I can't wait for it. Sorry, Mike, what were you going to say, mate?
No, I was just going to sort of pick up on that. I mean, it'd been going for years before he dropped out the league and before COVID, and I think all the sort of data and all the reports were that it didn't affect attendances really, and actually created new revenue streams for clubs. And I'm like you, that living down here, you do feel a bit detached, and it gave you that attachment back to your club, because you just watch a game. And actually, ever since we've dropped out the league, and the new owners have come in, and you've had all this good stuff happening back at Blundell Park. I've actually never felt that sort of far away from home. So I'm looking forward to it. So I'll actually watch a few more games and be more involved and actually see what's going on instead of waiting for a fortnight to watch a 5-minute highlight package.
Well, that'd be interesting to see who has got the highlights for the EFL next year. I think Quest got rid of it, didn't they? It was on some other channel this year, wasn't it? I think. But no, I agree with you. I agree with you both. I was doubtful before, but I think with the way the club is at the moment, that anybody within travelling distance is going to be there anyway, because it still doesn't replace being in the ground.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I think even for me, even if I've paid for it, I'm still going to go to the games when they're in sort of a couple of hours' time. These are a few of the key dates for everybody to get on, and it just shows you how quickly the turnaround is. 23rd of June, the fixtures are out, so get ready and start marking your calendars. 20th of July, we're playing North Ferriby, and I'm sure Cleethorpes have got a friendly in there as well. And on the 30th of July, in less than 2 months, is our first league game back in the Football League, which is just mental. But I hope the players have already gone to Benidorm and are enjoying themselves. But
I think Hursty said they've got 3.5 weeks, didn't he? So 7, 14, 21. So they're going to be coming back sort of somewhere beginning of July. So in less than, and they normally have the Cleat Hounds is normally only 3 or 4 days into pre-season. I would say that within a month we're probably going to have the first pre-season game.
Yeah,
that's how crazy it is.
And then you think about it. Then if you're keeping a nucleus, but you've still got to make quite a few additions, you're thinking you're going to have to start making them pretty sharpish. You've got a bit of a broader squad available for when you start pre-season. I know obviously some always come late, but if you're keeping 10 players, you're going to need to get a few through the door pretty sharpish.
This is the new regime. Yeah. I think he'll have sat down and discussed the permutations already and what we're going to do. And this is who we want if we stay up. This is who I want to offer a deal to if we stay up and how much. And I think he'll have had support from that. Sorry, Alex.
No, it's all right. I was just going to ask, do you think we're going to be playing catch up now? Do you think that is a problem that we haven't been able to work out what league we're going to be in yet for players? My general rumor mill has been that most of the players we want to keep for next season are already signed up and ready to go. And wasn't it, by the way, nice to see My Energy kindly sponsoring the playoffs yesterday? I mean, completely out of the blue. You'd have expected Youngs to do that, given that they're the shirt sponsor. But nice to see a local company doing it.
Subtle.
There's not going to be a lot of holidays. Just you're talking about that. You've got the new shirts, you've got the new kits, you've got the season tickets. The office staff, they're gonna have a less of a break than the bloody team, aren't they? They're gonna just literally be absolutely flat out between now and August.
I think just going back to what you said, Alex, about whether it hampers, I don't think so, because I think these guys and Hurst will know exactly what they're going to do, whether they're in the National League or they're in League Two. And actually, you might be able to make an argument where a quicker turnover works for us, because we've still got the momentum. Right, let's just crack on now. Other teams, players have gone away for a couple of weeks, managers have gone away for a couple of weeks. Might not be that much of a rush to do things, but we know we've got to do it quickly. So a bit more energy in actually what we're doing might work out well for us.
Well, there's a question though from Adam Panel. McAtee, we know, has got to have an operation on his shoulder. That's surely not going to fix him up before the start of the season. So I assume we're going to be missing him from the beginning. So he's going to have to look at some options there, isn't he, in terms of it? And I guess the other question is, someone's already come back to me already. Stewart said 4,000 plus season ticket holders. What do you guys think is a respectable number, and what do you think we'll achieve, really? Bruce, you've had your season renewal packet. What's your immediate thoughts on the prices and everything else? That's how it's been set.
I mean, like anything at the minute, I looked at it. If I'm honest, I don't think we're expensive any more than anybody else. But with the cost of living and stuff at the moment, you do look at it, and just for me and Maisie, it's 440 quid. A family is going to be, best part of £1,000 or £800 or £900. It's not a lot. I think it was 3,000. I was just going to say, John, 3,300. I said before that I thought if we didn't get promoted the way that things were, I thought 4,000, and I thought if we got promoted we could be pushing 5. I think that might be a bit optimistic. I would be delighted, I think, with another 700. If we could have 4,000 before we'd even started every week, then there's not going to be a lot of space in the ground.
No, especially when we're playing the bigger teams. Sorry, Mike.
No, I think you're right. I think 3-7 is probably what I'd imagine. I mean, on the one hand, you've got the euphoria of going up and being a league club again and having the new ownership and moving forward. But you also do have the cost of living crisis, which, you know, is going to affect some people. I mean, we saw it this weekend, people couldn't come to the game. So people have considerations for that. I think, did I read somewhere, or I totally imagine this, they're saying you can actually pay in 4 installments now.
You could do that last season. I still
Could you?
don't think
Sorry.
I still don't think that's good enough. I still think it needs to be a monthly direct debit, paying up for a season ticket at the very least. But I think if there wasn't for a cost of living crisis, Bruce, I agree. I think we'd be looking at 5,000, and I think we would be good for it.
Yeah,
Sorry, Bruce.
No, you go.
No, I'm just going to make a quick point. The only thing I would say, though, is I'm continuously amazed by town fans' ability to go to games and things. So I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't actually affect it, because we do have, pretty hardcore fan base.
Yeah, I agree with you, though, Alex. I think if you pay, I think the option, I can't remember what it exactly is, but I think you can pay in, is it 4 installments? So my 4 installments would be, there's a 20 quid charge, which is fair enough. But my 4 installments for me and Maisie would be, 110 quid a month for the 4 months. That's still quite a chunk, but you take it down to less than, to about 40 quid a month through the year. That's a lot more doable. I think you're right. If I paid £40 a month, or thereabouts, and that just kept on coming out every month, then I think that would be a lot easier to find. But like Mike says, town fans find a way, and there'll be a lot of it put on plastic, and I'll chip away at that. But if there was a monthly subscription to be a member of the club, I think that would be a good idea. And you could even use it to get, for people that, like exiles like yourselves that don't go every game, could maybe have something where they paid 15 quid a month and they built up credit with the club or something. I don't know, but it's something certainly to be thought about in the future, and I'm sure they will.
As somebody who doesn't buy a season ticket for obvious reasons, I might have missed this. What is there an increase in the price, or is it the same?
No, they're about the same. We got a heavy discount last year because we bought one in the pandemic year. I can't remember what the amount was, but it did make a big difference last year. So this year it has gone back up to normal amounts. I think we're in the lower, and I think it's 340 for an adult early bird, and the children, I think Maisie was £80 last year, and it's gone up to 100. But it's still excellent value for them. I started with her ticket like when she was sort of 6 or 7. It just was a no-brainer because I think it's like £5, £6, £7 to go to one game. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that you do 10 games a season and you've got your money's worth. If they go to every game, you're paying absolute peanuts for a ticket. So the children's tickets are excellent value. But I think the prices are okay. It's just, like I say, I do think that, just from me looking at it, we will get one. But there'll be some people that'll look and just think, what, I can't quite afford it.
Yeah, I mean, if they are the same, then actually hats off to the club, actually, because I know we talk about cost of living crisis and people have issues with being able to afford their bills. That's no different from the football club. They'll have increased outgoings and things like that. So if they are keeping it the same, then well done, because I don't think there is a lot of clubs that are doing that.
Guys, just so you know, James, we're not talking about a subscription model. We're just talking about breaking down the payments from 4 to 10. I think it makes it easier for people to go through. And Adam Panel saying the problem is with direct debits, if the season went wrong, you could cancel it. I don't think you'd find many Grimsby Town season ticket holders would do that. And as speaking with someone the experience who works in a membership organisation who offers direct debit, the vast majority of people still prefer to do backs payments. And those who do cancel on direct debit are a very small number. I am talking probably 10 out of 1,000 people. So I don't think that's a worry, and I don't.
Could you not sign something legally as well? When you say, you could sign a legal document to say that you're just going to pay it over 10 installments. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't be an optional. It wouldn't be an optional thing. And then that way, I'm assuming, because obviously the club would be down on. They would be down on cash in the bank, wouldn't they? Because they wouldn't get it at the start of the season. But again, if they've got legal documents, I'm sure for a reasonable fee, they could, I'm not a businessman, but they could, get that money sort of advance to them, if you like, knowing that it's coming in during the season.
But the vast
It's just an
majority-
option, isn't it?
Yeah, and the vast majority will still pay up front with backs. Thinking of what my organisation does, it's probably a good 85-15 split, and a lot of the 15% are actually people who just pay a direct debit annually. They just have it as an automatic subscription that comes out once a year rather than like over a 12-month period.
I suppose
It's
Sorry, go
making
on.
people's options better and giving them a different option to buy it. The subscription option might be a bit too far out for football, but I think if we had a large stadium and we're looking to fill it, and I think if we were looking at this pre-Fenty, during the Fenty, I think it'd be an option because we had enough room to play with. We don't have that room now. We've got too many fans, which is not a problem I thought we would ever have.
My final point on that would just be that if I guess you would have to, we've always paid season tickets in the same way. They've always been paid up front, and it would have to make a significant difference to the revenue that they were getting in. Not just an extra 100 people perhaps buying a season ticket. For maybe that to be thought about. But yeah, I still can't believe we got promoted.
Yeah, me either. James, my last point on that is it's actually not a unique industry. It's quite similar to a lot of membership organisations. Actually, if they're not doing very well, they wouldn't pay it. But so I can't agree to disagree on that.
And this is a party.
Yeah, exactly. So shut up.
A promotion party. No, I wasn't meaning that. Don't be nice. You got to be nice. You got to be nice to people. For fuck's sake.
He's been having a go at everybody today, hasn't he?
No, you're supposed to be happy.
I am happy. I'm really good. I'm still processing it.
Yeah.
Right. We're an hour in, mate. We're an hour in. How are we gonna finish this? How are we feeling about next season? Perhaps, maybe.
Quietly confident. I mean, it's too early to tell, isn't it? And it's quite a lot to change around. But I think we'll be. I think there's a common misconception at the moment, though, that National League teams do really well when they come up. If you look at the last few teams that have done it, I think Sutton are probably an exception. They haven't been incredible. Barrow are struggling. Harrogate are struggling. Who else has come up recently?
Who did you just mention that have done well?
Harrogate.
Bristol Rovers
Barrow.
They went up and then came back down, and then they've gone back up again, haven't they?
That's before, wasn't it? Like I'm talking now, like most recent ones, I guess. Like I just don't think it seems tougher. It actually does seem tougher.
I think usually the teams that do better are the teams that are or have been at some point established league clubs that are run well or something like that. The smaller teams that go up from National League may take some adjusting, like, oh shit, look, we're a league club now. I think teams like Bristol Rovers, etc. Fleetwood did it, but they had a lot of money, didn't they? Teams like that, I think it's a lot easier because they're used to it. They know what to do, sort of thing. But that might be a bit of a sweeping generalisation.
Well, let's have a quick look then. So look at the teams that have come up. So teams that have come up recently: Barrow finished 22nd, Harrogate finished 19th, Hartlepool finished 17th. Leyton Orient, have they come up recently? Did they?
A couple of years, 3 years.
13th.
Graham Malik was not Graham Malik. Just in Edinburgh, wasn't it?
Salford 10th, and obviously Salford have got quite a lot of cash. Forest Green are finally up there, but obviously they came up the season after us. So it's not a given. Like if you look at the teams that are now in League One, like how many are there that have been in the league? Like say you've been in the conference in the last 10 years, shall we say? You've got Lincoln.
Lincoln had been a league club as well.
Lincoln, Cheltenham.
When were Exeter last out of the league?
They haven't been out of the league for a while,
have they? No, they weren't. Maybe a long time ago.
Cambridge, maybe. But I don't know. It's just, Luton. Yeah, Ollie's right, Luton. But it's a bit of a while ago like that. I just don't think it's a common. So I don't expect us to be going in the playoffs, but a mid-table finish will be lovely. Oh, mid-table, Bruce, a season of mid-table obscurity. Season finishes in March. Nothing to worry about. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Automatic promotion.
So
the last 3 times we've not been automatically promoted. I don't think since we were under Buckley in whenever it was 1990, 91. The last 3 times we've been promoted have been in the playoffs.
Never seen it.
It's too much like hard work. Yeah, we need to go up automatic. But no, realistically, I think the club is on a roll. I do think that if we get the recruitment right and we sign a couple of players and we can get off to a decent start, then I don't see any reason why we can't be top half of the table, pushing the playoffs. And if we do exceptionally well, then who knows? But it's just we're back in the Football League.
It's incredible, isn't it? It really
If-
is. And again,
It's mental. It's mental. Absolutely mental.
If we look back though at 2016, when Hurst left, we were a place outside the playoffs.
Yeah, 9.
And don't forget in that season we lost an awful lot of that squad for ridiculous reasons about not offering Hammond decent wages and things like that. So we sort of rebuilt then, and he had us flirting with the playoffs. So I think a sort of mid-table, maybe the chance of a playoff little side eye at if you get chance. I think that's where we would probably end up. But who knows at football these days? You never know.
If we finish 14th, it will be our highest league finish since 2006. So I think that is the key aim for me. Finish top half of League One, League Two. Finish League One. Yeah, let's top half of League One.
Championship in 5 years.
Yeah, Day was right. You can't deny him. He knew what he was on about.
We've got a year left.
Yeah.
On that.
If we finished, that's our best season in nearly 20 years. So I mean, that's incredible. We haven't mentioned it. Did anyone not go full Holohan? I mean, it was mentioned on the Football Ramble, which is an actual real football podcast. And he was very hairless, that man, very hairless. But I'll tell you something, without any prepping, he's doing all right for himself. I don't know. Bruce, you're very quiet. What do you want to end it on? Apart from that incredible, we'll put that commentary on again in a second so people can go to bed because I think everyone is fucked.
I'm absolutely fucked, mate. If I'm honest, I was just.
And you didn't even go.
No, but I'm just. Well, yeah. I mean, I did have plenty to drink, but no, I just like I've said it so many times, it's going to get boring. But I can't believe we've got out of the league, and just very grateful to all the players and the staff and the owners and everybody involved with the club, really. And we've got our club back, and it's back in where it belongs. And long may that continue, and onwards and upwards up the Mariners.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
One random thing: has anybody worked out yet what Joey Jones is doing with a fire extinguisher walking around the pitch?
He probably stole it just in case there's any flares coming on. He's doing a good job.
It's the most random thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's incredible. Thank you, everyone. We'll do another. I imagine we'll do another one with everyone coming. We've got to do an end of season one and wrap it all up, really, and give out some awards. But thank you, everyone, for supporting the podcast throughout this. Whether you've had a raffle ticket, which is still going, by the way, but it felt a bit churlish to promote it while everyone was trying to find money for the playoffs. And thank you for all your loving support and everything. It really is amazing, and this thing keeps growing, and it's stunning, and I can't believe how hard everybody has worked. And yeah, I don't know what to say anymore, Bruce. I'm going to get emotional. I've not processed it. But I think we all need to go and lie down, don't we? Yeah, we do. I think that's what we're going to do.
Right.
Right. Thank you, guys. I'm going to leave you all with the way that got us back to being the team that we need to be, a Football League team. And I'm going to leave you with that.
Slam challenge by McAtee, wins the ball but doesn't find man, but it's Town winning it back again with Smith. Runs it on the right-hand side, players coming in, real opportunity here, and it's across the goal. The back of the net. And who else but McAtee has pulled Town level. And what class it was. Just got away on the right-hand side and finished inside the post. The Mariners are back in it here. 68 minutes gone. It's Shrewsbury Town 1, Solihull Moors 1. Cropper throws it in. Gets a flick on. Yeah! And it's turned in the back of the net. They've done it. They've done it. It's Maguire Drew. They've done it again, this team. And it was from the long throw. And it's flicked on, and Maguire Drew has got it in the back of the net. 21 minutes of the extra time has gone, and Maguire Drew makes it 2-1 to Town. Get on with it, he tells Crocombe. Crocombe takes it long down the left-hand side. headed out and behind, and that's the final action of the game, which means Grimsby Town are back in the Football League. Just a year after those awful scenes at Exeter, the Mariners are back in it, and what a way to do it. 3 games behind in each one, extra time in each one, but somehow they've found the way to do it. They're back in the Football League, and this is what happens when everybody pulls in the right direction. No more darts games this year, no more COVID problems. Everybody deserves this at Grimsby Town for the way they've come here and turned things around. Well done, Jason. Well done, Andrew. Well done, Debbie. Well done, Paul Hurst. Well done, Chris Doig. Well done, you fantastic fans. It's the Mariners back in the Football League.
Well, everyone.